Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel ClearPath QA. In this video session, I will guide you on how to successfully pass the Certified Tester Foundation Level New Syllabus. This content is made for people who are new to the workforce with 0 to 1 year of experience and want to do well. Let's jump into the introduction. The exam consists of 40 questions and you need a minimum of 26 correct answers to pass. You will have 60 minutes for the exam with an additional 15 minutes if English is not your native language. Understanding the categories K1, K2 and K3 is important. K1 involves remembering topics, K2 requires understanding and K3 involves application. My recommendation is to get the hang of all theories, as this knowledge will be valuable not only for the exam but also for future interviews. Now, let's jump into the topic of what is testing. Specifically, we'll focus on where we aim to identify typical test objectives and where we differentiate testing from debugging. Software systems are a big part of our daily lives. Many of us have encountered software that didn't work as expected. When software doesn't function correctly, it can lead to various issues such as financial loss, wasted time, harm to business reputation, and in extreme cases, even injury or death. This is where software testing comes in. It evaluates the quality of software and helps reduce the risk of failures in operation. Software testing involves activities aimed at finding defects and assessing the quality of software items known as test objects. While some might think testing is only about running tests on software and checking results, but it's more than that. Testing is not just about verification, that means ensuring the system meets specified requirements. It also involves validation, that means checking if the system meets users and other stakeholders' needs in its operational environment. Testing can be dynamic, involving the execution of software, or static, which doesn't involve execution. Static testing includes reviews and static analysis. Dynamic testing employs various techniques and approaches to derive test cases. Testing is not just a technical task. It needs proper planning, management, estimation, monitoring, and control. We will discuss about static testing and dynamic testing in future. Testers use tools, but it's crucial to remember that testing is primarily an intellectual activity. Testers need specialized knowledge, analytical skills, and must apply critical and systems thinking. The goals of testing are to evaluating work products such as requirements, user stories, designs, and code, triggering failures and finding defects, ensuring the required coverage of a test object, reducing the level of risk of indicate software quality, verifying whether specified requirements have been fulfilled, verifying that a test object complies with contractual, legal, and regulatory requirements, providing information to stakeholders to allow them to make informed decisions, building confidence in the quality of the test object, validating whether the test object is complete and works as expected by the stakeholders. In here, I want to highlight that there is a difference between verification and validation. Verification is the process of checking whether the software meets the specified requirements and standards. And validation is the process of checking whether the software meets the customer's expectations and requirements. So don't mix those two, that verifying whether specified requirements have been fulfilled and validating whether the test object is complete and works as expected by the stakeholders. Validation and verification of your understanding may be checked during the exam by incorporating this. In an upcoming video, you will be able to see the related questions. It's important to note that the objectives of testing can vary based on the context. This includes the work product being tested, the test level, associated risk, the software development life cycle, it's called as SDLC, being followed, and factors related to the business context, such as corporate structure, competitive considerations, or time to market. Now, we will discuss about testing and debugging. These are two different things. Testing can uncover issues caused by mistakes in the software. We call them defects in two ways. Either while the software is running, it's called as dynamic testing, or by looking at the code without running it, it's called as static testing. The typical debugging process in this case involves reproduction of a failure, diagnosis, fixing the cause. Testing checks whether the fixes resolve the problem, while debugging reproduces a failure and finds the root cause. In simple words, testing determines that defects exist while debugging fixes the cause of defects. So remember that. This concept might also be evaluated in the exam. Therefore, it is important to understand the difference between testing and debugging. Now, if a problem comes up during dynamic testing, that's where debugging kicks in. Debugging is like being a detective for the computer. It involves reproducing the issue, making the problem happen again. Diagnosis, figuring out why the problem occurred. Fixing the cause, solving the issue. Now, if static testing finds the problem, debugging is about simply getting rid of it. No need to recreate the issue or figure out why it happened before, because static testing can directly spot mistakes without making the software misbehave. In summary, the static testing finds faults directly in the test object, while the dynamic testing triggers failures that are caused by faults. After fixing it, we do something called confirmation testing to make sure our fix worked. Ideally, the same person who found the problem should also check if the fix is good. And sometimes we do regression testing to make sure our fix didn't break anything else in the software. That's all from today's video. I hope you guys learned something from this video. To catch up with more content, let's meet in the next video on my YouTube channel. Stay tuned. Thank you.